G'day everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video on crafting, ranging from campaign level crafting to tier 1 level crafting to tier 4 to 6 level crafting, um, just before endgame crafting and endgame crafting. So as you're leveling through the campaign, it's very important to have a additional flame fuel drop quantity pet on. If you don't know, when a flame fuel drops on the ground, if you have a pet that says plus 16% additional flame fuel drop quantity, that does not mean that if 10 flame sand drops, you're going to get 16% more, which is 11.6. It means that you have a 16% chance for a second one to drop. So if one drops, there's a 16% chance that two drops. If a stack of 10 drops, there's a 16% chance that a stack of 10 plus one drops, or a stack of 10 plus a stack of 10, etc. Anyway, it's just a really good pet to have out in your arsenal as you're going through the campaign, because it will enable you to get much more crafting materials to go through. Now, starting with the beginner level stuff, if you go to the affix list, it can show you the highest possible level that you can get for all the crafts. I'm going to focus on, say, a Boom Moto and a Boom Moto's leveling stats that you would want. Obviously, the main ones are minion damage and um, minion skill levels or something like that. This weapon can't have minion skill levels, so it's a bad example. But if you were going Iris, you could go with your level through the campaign with lightning skill. At a level 9 weapon, you can have plus 1 lightning skill level, which is fantastic. You can get spell damage, you get fire damage or spell damage to skills, mana regen, etc. So it costs 1 flame dust per craft, and if you really want that plus 1 lightning spell skill, you would just go with that. You would lock that and go through and try and get a couple of extra bits to make it a little bit better. Lightning damage to spells would be fantastic. Minion attack speed and spell crit strike rating. That is all fantastic for a lightning iris going through this campaign. If I was a Boom Moto, I would probably not go with lightning skill level. I would just try and craft on the extra minion damage on there. So minion max life is actually quite okay. We've got lightning spell again. So minion life, we'll go for minion damage as well. Minion damage, and that'd be a pretty okay weapon until you got one a few acts later and got a higher tier that you could craft on there. The gear that you're crafting for the campaign is just to get you to the next tier of item. If you are, again, Lightning Iris, a plus 1 lightning spell skill weapon is probably good enough to get you to endgame. So just keep that in mind, that the weapons for, say, Lightning Iris are much less important than upgrading, say, minion damage for a minion build. Next up, we have the tier 1 level of gear that can drop. So this is a wand that dropped in a tier 1 map. It's getting a little bit more complicated. We've got tier 4 as the highest prefix, and going down to the plus skill levels, it's still just plus 1 lightning skill. Still can't get minion skill levels on this one. I didn't want to spend too long getting perfect bases because that would take all damn day. So let's go with the Iris one again. Plus 1 lightning skill level. It was a 5% chance on the last one to do, so keep that in mind. Now we want lightning skill level, spell skill damage. Oh, excuse me. Spell damage, maybe some minion damage, etc. So looking at that, we don't have what we want. Again, it's still one flame dust to craft, so it's actually really quite cheap. We'll go through and see if we can get plus spell skill level. It's a much lower chance now. Oh, I just rolled over it. Oh, I just rolled over it again. Terrible. Alright, let's go slow and you watch it not appear until I go fast again, and I'll go over it again. Erosion. I'll go and find it and I'll be right back. Alrighty, we have lightning skill level. So lock that in place. Now we want something else that would benefit. Spell damage is quite nice. Minion max life doesn't really do anything. We're not going to spend any flame elementium upgrading the tiers at this point. So it's really just something to help you through the earlier tiers. You can lock a second one at this point, and try and get another one. There we go. Cast speed, minion attack speed. That's pretty good for early tier maps. You can upgrade, but why would you waste a flame elementium on a weapon this crap? So that's campaign. That's tier 1. Now we're getting to a tier 4 weapon. Looking at the affixes, we can get tier 1 level affixes, and going down now we can start getting +2 lightning spell skill levels, which is really quite nice, and I can get minion skill levels. But we've gone 2 iris weapons, so let's get another iris weapon going. What was the chance on the spell skills? So now we're at a 0.892, and of that 0.892 there is a 2% chance to get is it going to break it down properly in this one? So 0.02% chance to get +2 lightning skill. So if you drop one with +2 lightning skill, it's probably really good. And at this point you can start spamming, because it will tell you if you get a tier 1. Noting we're at 5,763. I'll see if I can get it in a couple of hundred. Alright, I'm getting sick of clicking. A 0.02% chance, you're probably not going to get it, so unless you're dropping one at this point with +1 skills or +2 skills, it's probably not a great thing to aim for on this level of item. Now, it is a Spirit Magus 1, so let's lock that in. It's still using 1. We're not using plasticity yet. Spell crit strike rating damage is quite nice. Now we have 100 plasticity. It's going to use 4 plasticity per attempt, so we have 25 attempts at getting a couple of extra affixes that we like. Minion speed, attack speed and stuff is quite nice. The mana and the max life isn't that great, but we can accept that just in case we don't get anything better. +1 spell skill level. Erosion, minion max life, elemental damage, minion damage, cast speed. That's not horrible. And then we can take that item. Would we upgrade for 10 flame elementium? Hells no. No, we would not. Then we would go down to the arms dealer Maud, enchant on a final prefix, which probably just be spell damage. And we spent about 100 flame sand making this weapon, so why not with the extra 10? That will get you into the next tier of item, which will be your tier 6-ish levels. So getting this, now we have 200 plasticity, we have item level 81. We still can't get most tier 1s on here, however we can get all the spell skill levels and stuff. So this is the second highest tier of crafting base that you can get. 200 plasticity, item level 81, item level 82 is where you get to the next tier. We'll see if we can craft on something. Got erosion a couple of times. Even at this point, I wouldn't look at making a really godly item. It's just to get you into the end game sort of stuff. Alrighty, so now that we've got our tier 1 locked in, it wasn't +2's lightning skills. I'm just going to pretend that it was. I've rolled a couple of more times and I've got 17% chance of minions to do double damage. Now we want to hit something or a couple of other items that are pretty good. Integral damage to frozen enemies is pretty good if you've got frigid domain, etc. running, or freeze chance. Spirit Magus enhanced attack speed. It's quite a low percent attack speed there. However, we can't upgrade this because it's not tier 1. We can upgrade this to tier 0, which is quite interesting. So if we got some other reasonable things, we could spend the money for that. However, at the start of the league, an ultimate ember is about 50 or 60 flame elementium, so that's about 110 flame elementium cost right there. Minion crit strike damage, that's actually quite nice. So we've got tier 3 minion crit strike damage. We could spend 10 to upgrade that to tier 2 as well. We could upgrade the spell damage if we really wanted, or we could upgrade the erosion skill. Erosion spell skill is 1 per. We can upgrade that a few times. I don't know, make this one a bit better too. Obviously this is a lot of wasted FE, and I probably wouldn't do this at the start of the season. However, now that we've actually got a pretty okay weapon towards the start of the season, I probably wouldn't waste those extra FEs at the start of the season, but for right now, I don't mind. Going on to targeted prefixes, you don't want to do something silly like, let's just put this in here because I know it's a low chance, and that one. So if you had 2 open prefixes or suffixes and you wanted to use both of these on there, you obviously wouldn't go for a tier 0 spell crit strike damage and then the terror chance. You would try for the terror chance first because it's got a 7% chance of success, whereas the spell crit strike damage has a 100% chance. That 100% chance is divided up in between the other tiers. However, the max terror is just 7% chance at +1. But if you have to reforge them, when you reforge one, you reforge off both. So now we just go for the spell crit strike damage, and we have an okay weapon if this was lightning and that was lightning. But that's not a horrible weapon for, say, tier 6 gameplay. Going on to endgame crafting, this is where it gets very expensive, and I would not recommend doing this unless you have, say, 1,000 flame elementium that you don't mind losing. Expecting to get a very good weapon out of 1,000 flame elementium in these current seasons is not a very good mindset to go in with, as you'll probably end up disappointed. Now, I bought this base off the trade house. It was 8 flame elementium because of the spell skill level, tier 1. Now, looking at the affix list, spell skill level, chance to get on there with your flame sand is a 0.09% chance. Expecting to get that on this is incredibly foolish, so you should always try and get that as a drop and use it as your base. Now it's 10 FE a pop for the initial. And we want, at least for a boom moto, minions chance to deal double damage is huge. So that's fantastic. Now it's costing 20 a pop, and we just want a third. That's really nice. +2 to minion skills would be fantastic as well. If you were using isomorphic arms, that'd actually be pretty nice, because that's 27%. Well, you having it equipped is giving 14% chance for minions to deal double damage. However, if you're using isomorphic arms and have this in your main hand, it's giving your minions 14% chance, plus 13% chance, plus 14% chance. So it's actually quite huge. So I'm going to... I'm going to confirm it. Why not? And then what you are going to do here is we're going to upgrade the 3 that we want to tier 1. Now, to go from tier 2 to tier 1, you only need 1. So the 35 to 65, that's the max it can use. It must have at least 1 plasticity to even put that on there. Can I display that? So 14 to 26. So 18 to 33. Okay, this is a good example. So now with our 16% chance to deal double damage, it's saying you may read that as it needs 35 to 65 plasticity to upgrade. We've only got 23 left, but you can clearly do it. It's using a maximum of 35 up to a maximum of 65 plasticity. This is going to use the rest of it. And now we have a 3 tier 1 affix item. Now we want to upgrade to tier 0s. This is where the gamble comes in. This is where you can lose a lot of currency. Upgrading those to 3 tier 1s, we're probably about an average of 100-150 flame elementium in the hole right now. At the start of the league, ultimate embers are about 50 or 60 flame elementium each. So every tier 0 that you go for is about 110 flame elementium on top of all other costs. And if you go for a double tier 0, there's a chance that it removes the other tier 0. Locking does nothing at this point. It is only for the prototype crafting, adding extra affixes on. So we're going to go with spell skill level. Ultimately, we wanted to remove the fire damage to spells and the minion movement speed. It removed the minion movement speed, which is fantastic. And next, 36. They're both 36% chance. So let's just go with the minions one. We want this to remove the fire damage to spells. However, the game is very sadistic, and chances are it's going to remove the spell skill. I'm going to lock that just to show that it does nothing. We actually got a crafting base. It's actually really nice. Huh. You just got to trick the game into doing what you want it to do, you know? So now we get into the expensive part. Up to this point, we're about 500 flame elementium into the hole on average, I would say, per attempt at getting to this stage. Now we want to craft on some extra stuff. So with a minion weapon, minion damage is really quite nice. Minion skill level is pretty much everything. And for the suffixes, crit strike damage is really quite nice. Where is it? Minion critical strike damage. So minion crit strike damage is 100% chance. Oh, minion damage, sorry. Minion crit strike damage is 100% chance. And minion skill level is a 5.25% chance. It is a 1.75% chance for tier 0. So we're going to craft that on first. We have 700 flame elementium. Oh, we hit really quite fast. Now this is a really nice weapon, as is. So now we have a 1.75% chance of getting a high tier minion crit strike damage, and also a 1.75% chance of getting tier 1 minion damage after that. We've got tier 6 and tier 4. Not great. Now, at this point, we've got 700 left. I am making a video, so I'm going to reforge and go again. Chances are I don't get another tier 0 in the 700 flame elementium. You can change the tier reminder to tier 0. So now it's not going to tell me when I get a tier 1 craft. It's only going to tell me if I get a tier 0. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. So that was a tier 1. I'm really running out of currency now, so I'm going to stick with the tier 1 because that can still roll to 2. Minion crit strike damage is a tier 6. A minion damage is a tier 6. Horrible. Let's go again. Nice, we got tier 0 again. Crit strike damage, tier 5. Minion damage, tier 4. Let's go again. Come on, game. I'm making a YouTube video. Be nice to me. Tier 1. Tier 4. Tier 2. That's pretty okay, actually. That's pretty reasonable. Now, it's plus 2, which is great. 92, that's max. 31% crit strike damage. It's not great. That's minimum. That's reasonable. I think they can do better. That was plus 1, plus 2. Minimum. Max. Plus 2. That's a pretty decent roll. So that's a pretty okay weapon at endgame. Obviously, if you were going for really endgame, you would just go with tier 0s as your first craft, and just keep deleting flame elementium as you went. Do a quick price check of this. So it's only 88 for that, which is interesting. 220, 1600 for those 4. Whether that sells for 1600, who knows? I'm probably going to try and sell this one for 1500. Okay. I wonder what that one is. It's got all the same stats as this, which is quite interesting. It's not this. From here, you could go and put on a dream interpretation if you really wanted. Or is it this one? Now, noting with the dream interpretation, you can go through and see all of the things that you can get with this. Spell crit strike rating per whatever. None of that's really great for us. That's not really great. That's kind of whatever. So none of these are really that great, but you don't have to accept them. So that would replace plus 49% minion damage with plus 35%, which is shit. So you would never take that. So you can just abandon that. All it's going to do is delete the 5 currency that you used. Go again. You can either record or abandon. If you record, you are accepting a downside, which would come next. Spell damage. Minion crit strike damage might be better than minion damage for you. abandon, or you can go with the big boy down here where you can get one of these. 98% minion damage might be nice. It does cost a lot more. Profound Dream Talkings are about 16 each. Okay, they're 20 each. Crazy. 17 each. So that's at least 170 flame elementium per attempt. And you can also add extra items over here if you want to put that as the prefix. Which none of them is really good for us anyway. But anyway, that is a hopefully quick-ish overview of crafting through campaign to endgame. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much.